Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jackie Mendez, your host for today's show. Happy Wednesday and happy Finance Day. We're going to be talking finance today, ladies and gentlemen. On the screen is the number you need to call for any questions you may have. 888-88-LEGAL. Give us a call, 888-88-LEGAL. The consultation will be free. Let's go ahead and introduce our partners today here at PraDa Law. First up, we have Daniel Silver.
Hi, Jackie. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And of course, Jennifer Pratt.
Happy Hump Day, everyone. We're here. We're doing this. Woo! Happy to be here.
And of course, Alexis Garcia.
How do I even follow that? Thank you, Jackie. Hi, everyone. Have a good day. Have a great day. I don't know.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the show is live. Give us a call, 888-88-LEGAL. Let's kick off the conversation, Alexis.
All right, great. Thank you. So that's right. It's Hump Day, and today we'll get into some finances here on Hump Day. We'll talk about unemployment. Let's see how we can tie that into maybe some family law, because we have the brilliant attorney Silver here on a financial day, which doesn't always happen, so that's kind of exciting. We have, of course, the lovely Miss Jennifer Pratt, who she's always a ray of light on all these shows here. So I guess now, even though that was such a great introduction, some not so fun news with the unemployment,
I think I did this last week on the Spanish show, and then you guys said, what's going on with you?
Right.
You know what it is? You gotta hype this up a little.
Hype it up to give the bad news.
Exactly. The bad news needs a little bit of happy energy behind it.
Right. That's all.
I guess giving bad news with a smile.
There you go.
There you go.
So what is the bad news?
So the bad news is, well, kind of good news, unemployment has been dropping. We've seen with the reopenings and everything, despite this disease and the changes that are happening to our country for this year, this horrible year, we see that unemployment has been falling. The individuals applying for unemployment, although it is still very high and it's not declining at the rate it should be, it was falling. But now at this time, we see in Florida, the unemployment numbers again took a little peak up. And a couple weeks back, I don't remember exactly when, last week, I'm not sure, but we were discussing how Disney was laying many people off. So with just that, we have this hub here in Florida of Disney, and you think of, okay, who cares? The parks shut down. No, but when you close the parks, when Disney lays off, all of the people who are affected by that, we're not just talking Disney, we're speaking, vendors, contractors, there's so many other performers, people go to perform. I have friends who perform to Disney. There's so many things that are tied into this. So that layoff, just the whole domino effect of individuals being affected. So what's that done for Florida? That's, caused our unemployment numbers to come up a little bit, and that's just gonna cause a whole slew, of issues for more people here.
Absolutely, Attorney Garcia. It's really incredible how the financial impact of COVID has affected, not just on the bankruptcy front, in civil cases. I'm seeing it left and right. People are getting sued, whether it's because they had taken out money and now they can't pay it back, whether there was an event they were supposed to fulfill and now they can't fulfill it. Just so many different things. But in the family context, one of the things that's happening as well is something that happened actually today in the office. Today we had a client that signed up with us a few weeks ago. His objective was to get a modification of the final judgment. He wanted to get that modified. It was done pretty much under his nose, arguably. In other words, he didn't have a lawyer. The wife had a lawyer. They did a great job at getting a bunch of stuff done, including a final judgment. And since he was never represented, he never successfully contested it. So he was hiring us for a post-judgment issue to try to work something out, try to vacate it, something. And the other side was willing to play ball. Attorney Silver made very good headway. They were even willing to possibly vacate the default final judgment, if not at minimum, renegotiate the terms of the parenting plan that was ordered by the judge without the client rarely even being a part of it. It was really, really random how this all went down. Well, today we got an email from this client saying, look, me and my ex, we're just going to try to work something out between us because I can't afford this. I just lost my job, and the truth is, I just can't have an attorney representing me right now, and we're gonna try to do this on our own. Word of caution for anyone doing this, remember, although me and Attorney Silver, me and Attorney Garcia, we have children in common, we're married, we can make these agreements between ourselves. Unless you have a court order, I would argue that, there might be some substance to your agreement, but it's not going to be the same as having signed by a judge.
You know, additionally to point out, this individual's in the position he was in because he didn't have a lawyer. You know, so now clearly times are hard, yes, but you want to be careful and you want to think he was steamrolled the first time, and now he's getting back into this again without a lawyer. So, Oh,
yeah, well, got to figure that out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 888-88-LEGAL. Give us a call. The consultation is free.
Can we just say Attorney Silver has the snappiest
Look at that
tie ever? I love it. I just noticed. Very cool.
Well, thank you. So one thing I'm certainly seeing is
Enough about my tie. I need to tell you what I'm seeing here.
is that people are losing their jobs, and there aren't those replacement jobs. Like someone's losing their job who works at Disney. Pre-pandemic, you just go get a job at another restaurant, or even I read an article about Broadway performers. I mean, they're getting crushed, and there's no lateral positions there for them. I mean, I'm seeing people that need to get new jobs to pay their alimony or their child support, and it's Amazon, it's Instacart, it's food delivery type services, but with no brick and mortar being open and restaurants slowly creeping back to capacity, it's very challenging out there, and we're seeing it from our clients.
So that's a good point. I just want to really quickly get into there. So you say individuals are picking up jobs to pay their alimony and child support. Is there something else they could maybe do to adjust it instead of just
petition for modification?
Right,
of course,
right.
you lose your job. That's a substantial change in circumstances. It's very hard for someone to argue that COVID-19, this pandemic, is not a substantial change in circumstances, because it truly is. It truly is. And modification, if you've lost your job, if you're making less money, give us a call. We can help you.
Yeah, thank you, Attorney Silver. Definitely give us a call. That number is 888-88-LEGAL. We have offices in Miami, in Doral, in Medellin, Colombia. We do have to come up on a short break, but if there's, I know we have a couple more segments, so what do you think we can talk about in these next segments?
Well, let's see. Right now, we've gotten into a little bit how the unemployment has affected, we've done in the family law cases, employment, and how it can change. So we'd like to see what you have to think. How is COVID affecting you financially? Are there other jobs available? Are you now underemployed? I think is what Attorney Silver was getting to. Individuals being unable to find something at the same level they went to before. So now you're looking for all of these Amazon and Uber, and I guess we're lucky in the sense that it's there, but is that giving us the income that we need? Will that sustain our economy and our rate of living?
And is it something you even have to do?
Right, so we'll get all of this once we get back to you. Stay tuned, 888-88-LEGAL. I know you're home right now asking yourself, how? How will I pay my rent, my mortgage, my bills, my credit card debt? I'm attorney Alexis Garcia with PraDa Law. I've personally helped people with financial problems over the last 10 years. I understand what you are going through. We saw people lose it all in the 2008 financial crisis. You don't have to lose it all. The consultation is free. Call us now. I will help protect what you have built. You have nothing to lose by calling us. Call us now. These are trying times. This deadly virus is affecting our health, economy, jobs, our small business owners. Bankruptcy protection may be able to save assets and immediately stop your creditors from harassing you. Small business owners, employees of business of any size, we know you need help. Call us now. We will help you get back on your feet. Don't wait until it's too late. This is the time to call.
Sé que estás en la casa ahora mismo preguntándote, ¿cómo? ¿Cómo voy a pagar la hipoteca, la renta, los biles, las tarjetas de crédito? Soy la abogada Jennifer Pratt con PraDa Law. Yo personalmente he ayudado a las personas con problemas financieros durante los últimos 10 años. Yo entiendo por lo que estás pasando. Vimos cómo la gente lo perdió todo durante la crisis financiera del 2008. No tienes que perderlo todo. Llama ahora. La consulta es gratis. Te ayudaremos a proteger todo lo que has construido durante todos estos años. Sabemos que estos son tiempos difíciles. Este virus mortal está amenazando nuestra salud, nuestra economía, nuestros empleos y a los propietarios de nuestras pequeñas empresas. La consulta es gratis. Llame ahora. Te ayudaremos a recuperarte. No esperes hasta que sea demasiado tarde. Llame ya.
Welcome back to PraDa Law Live. Once again, I'm Jackie Mendez, your host for today's show. It's Wednesday, so we've been talking finances. That number on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, is 888-88-LEGAL. Give us a call anytime during the show. We'd love to hear from you. And give us a call if you have any questions. Your first consultation will be free. So before the break, we were talking about the unemployment rate and how some people have had to change, get second jobs because, they're out of their career job, I guess. Right. And so, they have responsibilities as far as child support and alimony. So question, what is a petition to modify?
Great question.
Let me take that one. Sure. So there's a final judgment or a final order entered in your case, and you cannot modify a final petition, final judgment by a motion. It has to be a petition. A petition requires a separate filing fee, and then you have this substantial change in circumstances which you need to prove. But basically, if you are paying child support like you were making $100,000 and then the pandemic hits and your income's in half, a court can't modify your child support until you file that petition for modification. That's why it's so important to file immediately, because if you don't file every single month, you're just going to be overpaying your child support.
And it relates back. Explain how that works, the relating back.
Sure. So if I file my petition for modification today, but if we're in trial next year, at least the court can go back to today and start modifying, retroactively, or
so
just giving.
You would get like a credit,
right,
or an offset.
Exactly.
Pretty much, the longer you wait, the more you hurt yourself. The deeper the hole that you dig. Okay, so it's of the utmost importance that you take advantage of this opportunity. You give us a call here, 888-88-LEGAL, and let us see how we can help you. And something I just want to clear up, and we touched upon it on Tuesday's show too, the family show, where we discussed what happens if a woman, in this case, it was a woman who stopped working because she married a rich husband and there was child support involved. So Attorney Silver explained, well, just because she voluntarily decided not to work anymore and she was, let's say, a teacher earning $50,000, the court still imputed the $50,000 income to this woman. Now, in a situation like this, where you're taking lesser employment, it's not because you married someone rich and you're deciding to step back. Attorney Silver touched upon it. We have a change in circumstances. COVID is a huge problem that has affected so many people. And you have to show this, and you have to show that, listen, I'm driving Amazon now, I'm delivering for Amazon, I'm doing whatever it is now that I need to, and I still don't have the income I had before. So because of that, I need this order modified. But again, we cannot stress enough, this is not done automatically. Even if your partner says, you know what, don't worry, you're going through a hard time, give me less. Does that mean anything, Attorney Pratt?
No, not at all. And I've seen people do it, and they think that it's because amongst them. And look, that may help, that may last you so long, but at the end of the day, if you've got a court order, you need to get a court order modifying that agreement. And can parties do this on their own? While, of course, I will never recommend that you handle these matters on your own. If it's truly amicable and you truly have something in writing amongst yourselves and it's notarized and the whole shebang, just make sure you file it with the court. Make sure you get it signed, an order signed by the judge. Again, it's not my recommendation,
but what about just get an attorney together? Sometimes you can do that if you waive a conflict and there is no conflict. You bring the agreement to the attorney, and the attorney makes sure that everything goes before the court. That's something that can be done?
We're only going to represent one person, because if one firm represents two different people and there's a problem down the line, it's going to be a conflict down the lines. But look, we can certainly represent one party if the issues are not legally complex and both parties are in agreement. The other side doesn't necessarily have to have an attorney, because we may just be talking about an agreed upon amount of child support or agreed amount of time sharing or something like that.
Right. Especially if it's like a temporary thing, and they're both, everyone's on the same page. I feel comfortable handling the issues. What happens is people come and they say, we're on the same page. Then they sit with either Attorney Silver or myself, we're asking certain questions that we need in order to modify the agreement, and all of a sudden you go, maybe this is not as amicable, because they're not really in agreement for everything.
Either that, or they're in agreement, but once it starts to draft the document and get the exact language, people may have a problem with the language. People may think something's prejudicial. So, even though it is amicable, there may be some issues where we have to get involved.
Thank you so much. Once again, that number on the screen, 888-88-LEGAL. Give us a call. The first consultation is free.
Attorney Garcia, for you, in the bankruptcy context, if I'm a woman, man, and I want to file bankruptcy, but now I've remarried and my spouse is very wealthy, does that play a role in whether or not I can file for bankruptcy?
The short, easy answer is yes, because household income applies when you're filing a bankruptcy. the in-depth answer is you can potentially get around that depending on certain things and certain case law, and applying what income of your new spouse is actually used to the household and to maintain the household versus what is used for just his own or her own personal expenses. So that's something that has to be litigated, and that's something that I can tell you a trustee is not just going to bow down to. You're going to have a lot of evidence and a lot of proof showing these things.
Thank you so much, Attorney Garcia. I know that we do have to come up on a short, quick break, but we'll be right back with more information. Once again, the number on the screen is 888-88-LEGAL. We have offices in Miami, in Doral, in Medellin, Colombia. So give us a call. You really have nothing to lose. And we'll be right back with some more information, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with our partners today at PraDa Law. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Thank you.
I know you're home right now asking yourself, how? How will I pay my rent, my mortgage, my bills, my credit card debt? I'm attorney Alexis Garcia with PraDa Law. I've personally helped people with financial problems over the last 10 years. I understand what you are going through. We saw people lose it all in the 2008 financial crisis. You don't have to lose it all. The consultation is free. Call us now. I will help protect what you have built. You have nothing to lose by calling us. Call us now. These are trying times. This deadly virus is affecting our health, economy, jobs, our small business owners. Bankruptcy protection may be able to save assets and immediately stop your creditors from harassing you. Small business owners, employees of business of any size, we know you need help. Call us now. We will help you get back on your feet. Don't wait until it's too late. This is the time to call.
Sé que estás en la casa ahora mismo preguntándote, ¿cómo? ¿Cómo voy a pagar la hipoteca, la renta, los biles, las tarjetas de crédito? Soy la abogada Jennifer Pratt con PraDa Law. Yo personalmente he ayudado a las personas con problemas financieros durante los últimos 10 años. Yo entiendo por lo que estás pasando. Vimos cómo la gente lo perdió todo durante la crisis financiera del 2008. No tienes que perderlo todo. Llama ahora. La consulta es gratis. Te ayudaremos a proteger todo lo que has construido durante todos estos años. Sabemos que estos son tiempos difíciles. Este virus mortal está amenazando nuestra salud, nuestra economía, nuestros empleos y a los propietarios de nuestras pequeñas empresas. La consulta es gratis. Llame ahora. Te ayudaremos a recuperarte. No esperes hasta que sea demasiado tarde. Llame ya.
Welcome back to PraDa Law Live. I'm Jackie Mendez, your host for the show. It's Wednesday and it's Finance Day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's kick off the conversation. Alexis, I know you had a couple questions.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Yeah, I just wanted to get into a couple things first. Remind everybody who's watching us, you may still have your job. You may be lucky that your employment wasn't changed because of COVID, and you may not be experiencing, maybe COVID brought you closer to your spouse instead of pushing you away. So this may not be the show for you, but you never know who it is the show for. So we'd like you, if you're watching, share, subscribe, let everybody know about us. Let everybody know if they give us a call, we're here and we can help them. So we've been speaking about, COVID, the unemployment rate, and we've been tying that a lot into how it affects family cases, specifically petitions and adjusting alimony and child support and things like that. However, Attorney Silver and I were talking on the break, and Attorney Pratt, and we were discussing some other interesting aspects that COVID has brought. And one of those things is adult children moving back in with their parents. So why don't you tell us a little something about that, Attorney Silver?
Unfortunately, we are seeing a lot of it when you're seeing, young kids losing their jobs and not having other options, and now all of a sudden they're moving back in with their parents, and it's creating all sorts of problems in the household.
And I think it's relevant also for bankruptcy. Let me tell you, but in the family context as well, if these adult children are moving back in, and let's say maybe they didn't necessarily lose their job, but now they have a loss of income, but they do contribute to the household. Whether or not if I'm filling out a financial affidavit, do I need to put in my financial affidavit that I get this, let's say, rent from my son, my adult son?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think in the bankruptcy context, it's the same, correct?
That's a great, it's a fine line you're balancing there. But again, I want to stress that the bankruptcy context, it says household income, and it speaks to household income and household expenses. So in a time like that, it's when you need your attorney to do the most amount of due diligence, and you need to really figure out who's giving what to the household, what expenses are being paid through that pooled money. Because, you know, we saw this a lot before COVID in the Hispanic community. A lot of families, extended families live together. So you're going to have several generations pooling together for the household expenses. So even though that's not new in, you know, here in Miami, you're seeing it more and more, especially as Attorney Silver's pointed out. So that is something your attorneys should be aware of, and they should know how to handle when putting forward a bankruptcy petition.
Here's how it came up in one of my cases. So basically, we were at mediation, and part of the problem was that we had this adult child who obviously, you know, no child support, but there was another 17-year-old son who was still on child support. And basically, as part of the agreement, the 17-year-old's child support, the parties agreed, is now going to be paid through his 19th birthday. So they voluntarily extended the child support by agreement, and as part of a whole global other settlement, because there was sale of properties and all other issues. But one thing to kind of get the deal done, as far as, you know, the husband was doing something nice for the wife and got her to the table, got it done, was they basically agreed to him pay a little extra child support for some time because the kid was not on his feet yet.
Okay. Well, 888-88-LEGAL, that's the number to call, ladies and gentlemen. The consultation is free.
Attorney Garcia, you know what else I'm seeing too is friends moving in. More and more friends, and even couples. So what's happening is, you know, two couples are moving in together to share.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster in my book.
Well, that's because we're crazy Latina jealous women.
Or like a good reality television show.
Right, exactly.
But this COVID situation has done this to a lot of families, and also friends that maybe you don't have family in your immediate area, so you're seeking out roommates and other folks to try to move in with to share expenses. And you know, that's what it is.
Getting creative, definitely.
Getting creative, exactly.
We've seen that in the bankruptcy world. I've some of my initial cases in COVID were younger individuals still finishing their studies and working, you know, the random jobs until they were established, moving in with their friends. We have one filed like that, yeah.
One issue in almost all of the family cases that comes up is that at some point when people separate, they have new romantic partners, and now the children are being reintroduced to other people. And, you know, I can't imagine if, you know, I had a child and all of a sudden, you know, the child spending time on the other house, and now all of a sudden there's 2 or 3 couples living there. Wow. And it's like, how is that going to have an impact on the child? And if that's the case, you know, petition for modification.
Right. I didn't even go there. I was just adults. I wasn't even thinking of children. I know. I didn't even take it there when I thought of it. I just thought adults moving together. Wow. Yeah.
Obviously have to put in a petition to modify that situation because he's not happy with it.
Yeah. And it may not be in the child's best interest to be, you know, in a house with 8 different people.
Right.
And their children and all that. It can be very, very messy.
Yeah. Sounds that way. 8 different people. The number to call, 888-88-LEGAL. Give us a call. The consultation's free. You don't want to be stuck in that house.
In fact, Attorney Silver and I have been working on a case where that is one of many issues that came up.
I think you've talked about
was that you have children living in the house with their mother. The mother now has a new partner. That partner has a partner. But let's even forget about that partner for a second. But the mom has a new partner who happens to be a woman, a girlfriend, which is fine. That in and of itself is not usually that big of a deal. But she came into the household with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 minor children on top of the other 3 that were already living there.
How big is the house they're living
I think it's a
Not big
2-2.
enough.
I think
Not
it's a
big-
2-2,
not big
maybe.
enough.
It's
Whatever.
very tiny. I want to say less than 1,000 square feet. Very tiny place to where you have now the mom, the girlfriend's boyfriend, the 5 kids, and then the 3 kids in like a 2-2.
No.
That's the kind of situation that a judge is going to go, wait a minute, hold up, where are the kids sleeping? Who's taking care of them? What's homework? What does dinner time look like?
What's the schedule look like in that house?
Right.
Dysfunctional.
Yeah, that's definitely something where the judges
There's not families that are big that make it work, but when you're not, you know, when it doesn't work, it really doesn't work.
Right. I mean, I grew up in a 700 square foot little apartment, just me, my mom, and my sister, and that was too crowded.
It was crowded.
Yeah, it was crowded. So I fully understand.
Sharing the bathroom.
Yeah. 3 women sharing a bathroom, that's a problem.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to take, well, is this the last segment?
This is the last
it?
segment.
It's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's the end of the show, but thank you so much for tuning in to PraDa Law Live. Thank you, Daniel Silver, Jennifer Pratt, Alexis Garcia, our partners here at PraDa Law. Once again, that number on the screen is 888-88-LEGAL. Give us a call. If you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to the page. You never know who you're going to benefit, who can definitely, we can definitely help you. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I'm Jackie Mendez, and we'll see you next time.